Hey, Kate. Come here whenever you're at. What are you doing? Haven't you finished making dinner yet? It's taking so long for a housewife. You're definitely not very good in the kitchen.
Come on, Mom. I'm not at home today. As I told you before, I have a work today. I prepared your lunch, so if you're hungry you can take it out of the fridge. And you can heat it up then. It's labeled for you.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself making up stories like that? Not to mention expecting your poor mother-in-law to eat cold leftovers. You really can't do anything, right?
They're not cold leftovers, Mom. I made it for you to have for lunch and you can heat it up in the microwave. And I'm not making up stories. What am I supposedly lying about?
Kate, I know. You're a full-time housewife leeching off my son's money. You don't need to pretend you have a job or anything. The truth must be that you're out shopping or something.
What? Mom, what makes you think that? And why would I make up such a lie in the first place? Anyway, I really do have a job. You can ask your son when you see him.
I know you so well, Kate. Do not hide it from me. I bet you're melding off about me to your dreadful housewife friends somewhere. Really, it's just terrible. If you have so much free time, then why aren't you down at the fertility clinic?
Why are you bringing that up of all things?
Although you call yourself a full-time housewife, you go out leaving the chores unfinished, you can gossip about me. And why haven't you and Peter had any children? It must be your fault that I don't have a grandchild. Do you think you should take some responsibility and do something about it? Poor Peter.
Mom, listen. Children are blessings. So I don't need to go to a fertility clinic. If it happens, it happens. And anyway, I do really have a job. Because of the company's policy, I usually work from home these days. But there are times I need to go to the office in person too. I know I've told you this before.
My son has bought such a beautiful house for the two of you to live in. But I can see it's going to waste in your hands. Aren't you ashamed to call yourself a housewife?
I don't call myself a housewife. I told you I have a job. Besides, the house is perfectly fine.
What are you talking about? Honestly, my dear son doesn't deserve such things.
Mom, what do you mean by that?
Peter's finally able to save enough to buy a brand new house after years. But his wife isn't doing anything to maintain it, just sitting around, lazily day after day, letting the place deteriorate. You really are a parasite after all.
Did Peter actually say any of that?
What?
Did Peter tell you he'd bought the house?
Of course. My son bought the house. This house is on his name. I don't even need to ask him.
Okay, if you say so. Anyway, I'm about to go back on shift now. So don't expect any more messages from me until I get home. And don't forget about your lunch in the fridge. I made it specially for you. So I'm sure you can manage something.
What a cold-hearted woman you are. I don't know how Peter married a good-for-nothing woman like you. My poor son.
Whatever, Mom.
That's over, Kate. You need to leave this house. Now. Stop leeching off my son.
Excuse me?
You're not going to conduct yourself like a proper wife. So I can't let you free vote off my son anymore. You parasite. So I demand that you leave this house.
What are you talking about? You demand that I leave? Why? I have been nothing but decent to you this whole time. And besides, you're the one who decided to come and move in with us in the first place. And now you're asking me to leave? Do you really think that is going to happen?
It's going to happen. I'm Peter's mother, you know. I have the right to decide who lives in our house.
Even though the house doesn't belong to either of you?
Again? Acting all high and mighty. How dare you downplay his achievements? He's worked for years to afford this place. You should show him some appreciation. This horrible attitude of yours is exactly why you're a parasite housewife. You can't have children and doesn't do housework. You have no worth in this world. No worth at all.
Mom, no Ella, what an old-fashioned attitude you have. I'm almost impressed that you can really say that with a straight face. You're not knowing anything about the situation.
Not content with bad-mouthing my son, so you intend to mock me as well now?
Not at all. In fact, I intend to honor your request if you so insist.
Well, you'll be leaving immediately. I feel like my luck is draining away with every second you spend in this house. So do me a favor and vacate the property as soon as possible.
Fine, Ella. If that's how you feel, then I guess there's nothing for it. I'll be gone before you know it.
Well, it's about time. My son and I will finally be free from your burdensome presence. I've been terribly stressed out having to live in the same house with a disgusting parasite like you.
You're really crossing the line, Ella. I've put up with you too much. This is verbal abuse.
I don't care how you feel about it. You'll be out of the house soon. My son bought the house with the money he earned. So we don't want to let parasite like you around, who doesn't contribute to the house. Just leave us in peace.
Sure. I don't need to live here anymore. I'll go. You and your dear son can live together happily.
You know that, right? I'm surprised a silly woman like you can get that.
Well, I'll just sell the house then. I need the money to buy another house to live in, you know, right?
What? What do you mean? You sell the house? How dare you?
I don't want to say anymore.
Just a minute there. Explain what you meant by that. How exactly are you planning to do that?
Well, it's, in fact, my house. So if you insist that I leave, I guess that means I have no choice but to sell it. Unless you decide to leave instead. But in which case, I'll probably still sell it. A beautiful house, I'm sure I can sell it pretty easily. But either way, you don't need to live with a horrible parasite like me anymore. Does that reassure you?
What? Wait a minute. What's going on? I don't get it. What are you saying? It's your house? What are you talking about? You've been talking nonsense this whole time. You must be lying to me. Don't act like this house belongs to you when Peter worked hard for years to afford it. How dare you belittle my son?
I'm not belittling anyone. I'm just telling you the truth. This house does belong to me in the legal sense.
How can that be?
I paid for it with my money. The deed is in my name.
I don't understand.
Yeah. The house you've been living in this whole time actually belongs to your cold-hearted parasite. Do you get it? Don't be so surprised. The house is my property, so if you want me to leave, you'll have to purchase it from me.
What? You say that it's not Peter's house?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. Oh, I forget to tell you something. That Peter hasn't gone to work for over a year. He's unemployed.
What?
Oh, it looks like he didn't tell you yet. At first, he did try to find another job. But he gave up when he couldn't find any. He hasn't been to a job interview or sent a resume out in months. He's been living off my money this entire time.
But I see him going out every morning. He also dress up well. How could that be true? I don't believe you.
Oh, it's up to you. You can ask you dear son to check my word. You know what? He just takes the car out and hangs out with his friends all the time. Maybe he wants to look like an employed man to hide from the reality. I know that, but I haven't said anything. I did believe that he would find a job some days. But never did I imagine being forced to leave out my house.
What?
I pay all the bills, allowances, everything. I also know that he steals my money to go down to the racetrack and gambles. He just sits in a bar until after dark, or he just spends the day playing video games at his girlfriend's house.
His girlfriends? Gambling? No, you're definitely lying. You're making things up again. My son would never do any of those things.
You could believe whatever you want to believe. But it won't change the fact that what I just told you is the truth. You can ask him. The one who's been supporting you this entire time isn't him. It is me. I've been letting the both of you live in my house. I pay for all your expenses.
This can't be happening. That Peter is unemployed, that can't be right. It doesn't make any sense. If neither of you are working, then how have you been able to afford to live?
How many times do I have to tell you? I have a job and I work from home. I've been working since before Peter and I were even married. So I have some savings. But things are different now. I can't take living in the same house with the two of you and dealing with your behavior anymore. I'll be leaving this place, so I'm going to sell the house.
I could wait to ask Peter if what you're saying is true. But if it's true, where are we gonna go? We have no income, I'm already retired. How are we going to live?
I don't have any clue, and I don't even care about this. I guess you'll have to figure that out with your scumbag son and decide for yourselves.
What? How dare you call my son a scumbag? What an awful thing to say about your own husband.
Well, it's the truth, he's unemployed now. So if I divorce him, I doubt he'll be able to pay the alimony. Since we've come to this point, I've already made up my mind to divorce him. I think his girlfriend might help him out with the legal fees.
You're planning to divorce him and sell this house? Are you being serious?
I'm serious. Why would I want to keep living here while supporting my cheating husband? There's nothing in it for me. Anyway, you should make your decision soon. Whether the two of you are going to leave the house, or whether you will stay and buy the house from me. The housing market is still going up. So I recommend you decide quickly.
How could you do this to us? You're Peter's wife. I'll admit I didn't know anything about him being unemployed. But everyone falls on hard times in life. And as his wife, it's your job to support him when things are difficult.
Don't you realize what I did? I did support him for an entire year. Actually, I put up with all your bullying and verbal abuse. I put up with his cheating and let him gamble away my money. But this is what it's all come to you. This is the last straw, to be honest.
But you can't just force us out of the house.
Why can't I?
You're not thinking things through. Consider the situation we'll be in if you do that.
But have you two ever thought about my situation?
What do you mean?
You try to force me to leave when you thought this was Peter's house. You even didn't care where I would live. Did you think about what I would do or where I would go?
Well, you could have just gone back to live with your parents or something like that.
My parents live on the other side of the country. You didn't think about me at all. So you don't get the right to complain when I treat you the same way.
What are you trying to say?
How many times do I have to repeat myself? I'm selling the house. If you want me to leave, that means I have to sell it. Because it's my legal house. Do you understand now? I don't care where you and your scumbag son go.
Really, Kate? How can you take such an irresponsible attitude to us? We're your family.
No, don't say that. Once the divorce is settled, you're just some other people that have nothing to do with. I'm not being irresponsible at all. Although I'm sure you turned as white as a sheep during this conversation. But I'm well past my limit, this is the action I've been driven towards. All of this is your fault. So now take what you deserve.
Please, Kate. Please think about Peter and I a little. I'm sorry for what I did. I'm now enlightened. I beg for you forgiveness.
No, no way. I'm done. I'm done thinking about the two of you. I don't need either of you in my life anymore. No matter how you try and persuade me, I've already made up my mind.
Peter doesn't have a job right now, so how are we supposed to live? Who is going to support us?
Who know? I guess you're gonna have to get a job, you're not old enough to receive a pension.
No, I don't to work. I just want to enjoy my life.
Well, look who's the lazy woman. So, bye now. Never contact me again. After that, Ella found out the truth about her son. She realized that everything I told her was true. In the end, Peter was at a loss. After the divorce, he is still jobless. He's also forced to pay alimony because he'd been cheating and abusive. There's nothing they could do to save themselves.
Hey Shasa. How is your guy? I can't stop thinking about that handsome face.
What? What are you talking about?
The guy that you brought to the house with you.
Wait. What? How do you know about that? I thought that you weren't home today. I didn't see you at all.
Yeah, I was just at home today. I just didn't want to introduce myself because I wasn't wearing any makeup.
I thought that you were out or something because you didn't come to say hi to us.
I overslept because I came home late last night. You guys were just about to leave when I woke up. That's when I got a glimpse of that handsome guy. Come on Shasa, just tell me about him. I need to meet him. Can you just give me his phone number?
Well, if you'd like, his name is Jim and he's my boyfriend.
Since when did you manage to get a boyfriend like that? I didn't know that you had a boyfriend at all.
I've had a boyfriend for a while now.
I don't understand why such a handsome guy would bother dating a girl like you. There must be a reason or you must be lying to me.
What? Why would I lie to you about this? He's actually the son of the president of the company that I work for.
What did you just say? He is the son of the president? He must be so rich, right?
I'm not really sure what he likes about me so much either. He was the one who asked me out a couple of months ago.
That is unbelievable. Why would someone like him ask you out? So you're telling me that you're dating the future president of a company?
I am dating him, but I'm not sure if he is going to become the next president. The company I work for hasn't decided who's going to take over as president next yet. There's a few other candidates for the position and they're all very capable. I think the higher-ups are all still discussing who should take over next.
Did you bring him back to our house to introduce him to Mom and Dad? Are you guys planning to get married already?
I'm not sure if we're getting married, it's way too soon. We came back home for a different reason. He came home with me to talk to Dad about work.
What do you mean? Why would they want to talk to each other about work? They don't even work for the same company.
Actually, our companies became business partners recently. So my boyfriend's father wanted us to tell Dad about our relationship, as our companies are going to be working together in the future. So yeah, that's why I brought him over. We thought it would be best to talk about this informally.
Oh, so that's what he came over today? I still can't believe why he loves such a nerdy short girl like you.
That's a little mean. I have feelings as well, you know.
I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just telling you the truth. You're tiny and nerdy. There's nothing wrong with what I just said.
Being short isn't something that I can change. You're offending all the other short people in the world.
You're too funny sometimes.
Well, I'm glad that you're entertained. Have you heard enough now?
I would love to hear much more about how you guys met. Have you got somewhere to go?
Yeah, I need to go soon. I'm standing outside of my car texting you because I thought you had something important to talk about. I'm not going to drive and text at the same time. Just to tell you about how we met. I want to go home already. I'm tired.
Fine, go ahead and drive away. Shasa. We need to talk. You've been bringing Jim back to our parents' home pretty frequently.
Yeah, I guess so. Dad and Jim seem to be getting along really well. They usually watch baseball together while drinking some beers. I've been stopping by to pick Jim up after and save some cab money.
I see. That's why I've seen you both around so often. Did you both stay over yesterday night?
Yeah, we did actually. I didn't really want to stay over here, but he was too drunk to go home. I wanted to go back home.
Why don't you just go home by yourself? I think Jim prefers to stay here with me anyway.
What do you mean?
I guess you really haven't realized what me and him have been getting up to. You are just being used as a personal driver, by the way.
What are you talking about?
You really are dumb about these things. In fact, you always have been slow. I guess you still haven't realized what we've been doing inside that car you drive.
Christina, I still don't understand what you're saying.
You really want to know? Okay, let me tell you. Jim is a very passionate lover, isn't he?
What did you just say? I'm not going to tell you about our private life.
We had a lot of fun together inside your car the other night. It was so hot.
You're joking, right? Did you guys really?
Yeah, we've been going at it. I thought that it would be a bad idea if I slept with him in my room. Because your room is right beside mine and the walls aren't thick enough. I wouldn't want you to hear us. So I think you would have realized if we did it in my room. I guess that would be thrilling too. But maybe next time, we don't need to worry about your finding out. So that's why we did it in your car. It's been happening every time you two stay over here. We've been having so much fun together inside your car.
What? Are you serious?
I'm wondering how many times we've done it. I think I've lost count already.
You guys have slept together?
Yeah. And it's so funny that you didn't realize.
That isn't funny at all. I'm so shocked now. I guess now that I think about it. I thought that some of the things in my car had been moved around. It was because of you guys.
You're acting so surprised.
Of course, I'm surprised. Can't believe you two did things like that in my car. It's disgusting.
You're worried about your car? That's so funny. That's not what you should be angry about, Shasa. The fact that he chose me over you.
Why did you sleep with him?
What do you mean? Jim is my type, you know. He is tall and has strong facial features.
But I didn't think you would sleep with your little sister's boyfriend. I was hoping to marry him.
That's not really a reason why I slept with him. Well, I thought it'd be nice to get married to a future company president.
I knew it. You were after him because of his position at the company.
I also thought it'd be kind of fun to steal him from you. It would be kind of satisfying to win him over.
I have no idea why that would be satisfying at all.
Well, you understand what's happening now, right? Jim is my boyfriend now. He is no longer yours. You guys weren't even engaged or anything. So don't hold a grudge against me. There's no point getting a lawyer involved either.
I wouldn't do that. I know hiring a lawyer for something like this is pointless. I'm guessing that Mom and Dad were on your side as well for this.
You're right. I'm impressed that you managed to figure that out.
You've always been the favorite child to them ever since we were small. Whenever we got into an argument, they would always be on your side.
Come on, it's not my fault that I'm much more likable.
It's okay. I understand everything that is happening now. I don't need a man that would cheat on me with my sister. So I've decided that I no longer want to have a relationship with Jim. I'm more than happy to give him to you.
What? It's kind of irritating. How calm and rational you're. But I guess I'll let you off the hook for today. You are the loser after all. I am the one that's going to be able to marry Jim. I'm going to be a company president's wife also.
I'm never going to come back to visit Mom and Dad again either. Would you be able to tell Mom and Dad that for me?
That's great to hear. Does that mean you're also going to quit working at your company as well?
Why would I quit my job?
Wouldn't it be kind of awkward when your ex becomes the president of the company? It's just a matter of time before he becomes the president. On top of that, he is going to get married to your sister. If I were you, I certainly wouldn't want to work at a company like that.
Well, I guess that's true. I think I'll decide if I'm going to quit once I've thought about it carefully. Right now, I need a bit of time to sort my mind out well.
You really are stubborn. Just quit straight away without even thinking about anything.
I had to live stubbornly to cope with living in such a toxic family. I think I'm actually happy that I finally have a reason to cut all of you out of my life.
What did you just say?
Anyway, I've got to go now. Bye.
I have some great news to inform you. You should feel lucky to hear this. I'm pregnant. Me and Jim are going to have a baby together.
Well, good for you guys. Congratulations.
You should stop trying to act like you don't care. Jim already told me that you ended up quitting the company.
Oh, you heard about that already. I guess rumors like that spread very quickly.
I knew that you were going to have to quit. It would have been difficult working at a company with your ex as the president. You were so close to marrying a wonderful man like Jim. I'm sorry that I had to steal him away from you. Now you're just going to lose your job as well. That's just so miserable. How does it feel to have your life crumble away? You kind of deserve it though.
I think that there are some things that you are misunderstanding. There's actually some other reasons as to why I'm leaving the company. Also, Jim isn't going to be the next president of the company.
What did you just say? Stop lying to me!
I thought that I told you this all before you decided to steal him from me. I told you that he was just one of the few possible candidates for the position. At that time, the board was still in the process of discussing who should get the position of president.
What? I don't remember. That can't be true.
Well, you must have a pretty bad memory anyway. The new president was decided a few days ago. It was someone else, but who's better than Jim? The new president was from a separate department. She started working there around the time I joined. Everyone respects her a lot, and she is a very capable person. I think everyone is really happy that she was chosen to take over.
Wait! If Andrew isn't the president, then you have no reason to quit, right? Why are you planning to leave? And why did you start dating him if you knew he wasn't going to become the next president?
Well, I guess he thought that I was dating him for his money and his position in the company. There seems to be some misunderstandings between us.
What other reason would there be to date him?
I don't think that everyone has the same values and thought processes as you.
Then why did you start dating Jim? Tell me the reason right now.
To be completely honest, I only started dating him because he was very persistent. He asked me to go out with him so many times. At first, I thought that he just really liked me. But then later on I realized that he was dating me for a completely different reason. I was actually one of the other candidates to become the next president of our company. So Jim wanted to make sure that I wouldn't have a chance at all.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
He thought that if we got married and I became a housewife, then I would automatically drop out of the competition for the position. After dating me for a little while, he realized that I wasn't one of the major candidates for the position. And that's when he started to become distant from me. That's right around the time he started sleeping with you. I guess he didn't need to date me anymore, and so he stopped trying so hard. Even though he went through all the effort to stop me from becoming president, he didn't get the position either. It's such a shame that someone else got the position instead of him.
Are you serious about all of this? I thought he was going to be the next president. You tricked me. You told me that he was going to be the next president so that I would take him off your hands.
Stop blaming me for any of this. The only thing that I told you was that Jim's father was the current president of my company. Also, I told you that the next president was not confirmed yet, and that there were many candidates for the position. I don't know why, but you just assumed that he would take over the company.
Anyway, this is all your fault.
Stop blaming me for your actions.
Then tell me who the next president is going to be. I don't want Jim anymore. I'll go flirt with the new president and make him marry me.
But you forget that you're pregnant.
I don't care about it. I can trick the new president.
I doubt that's going to be possible.
I'm sure it's not possible for a tiny nerd like you, but for me it's going to be easy. You know how hot I am. I can make pretty much any man sleep with me.
I already told you that the next president of the company is a woman. Well, she's already married. So I think you might have some trouble.
What? A woman? Are you for real? How could that happen? It's not that unusual these days.
I think it's going to be a little difficult for you to try to find another man to marry.
I guess so. But Jim can get a well-paid position even if he doesn't become president, right? He's the son of the current president after all. I'm fine getting married to him as long as he gets lots of promotions.
Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Our company only promotes people based on their skills and how much they contribute. He's not going to get any promotions or rises just because his father is the current president.
Those rules are stupid. He should at least get some special treatment for being the son.
Oh, you need to know that. He was never actually one of the candidates to become the next president in the first place. I just found out lately.
That can't be true. He told me so many times about how he's going to own a company.
That's probably because he assumed that he would take over the company just because his father is the president. He just got ahead of himself and started boasting about it to everybody. In reality, no one ever told him that he would become the next president.
What is wrong with him? How could he lie about such an important matter? I thought that I was going to marry someone rich and live a luxurious life.
You should keep it in your dream, Christina. Now, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm leaving.
Wait, Shasa. Shasa.
My sister and my parents are having a very rough time after all the chaos. I'm very glad that managed to finally escape that toxic family. I am currently enjoying my new life. It is so much better for me mentally and I am feeling very relaxed. I heard that my sister and Jim did end up getting married even after all that happened. The child in my sister's stomach is not responsible for any of this. My sister still has major problems with how she treats other people. But I don't need to care anymore.
Hello. Your daughter just duped me with a bogus wedding fraud. She stole a lot of my money, and I'd like to get it back as soon as possible. We can settle this entire case without going to court for $100,000. Does that sound reasonable to you?
Hello? I apologize, but may I ask who I'm speaking to right now? I believe you have the wrong number.
Isn't this King's phone number? My name is Tom, and I was just taken advantage of by your daughter, Hebe. I apologize for contacting you so abruptly, but this is a very important situation that needs to be addressed as soon as possible.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand all you're saying to me right now. I'm just a little confused because this is the first time I've heard of anything like this. So you're claiming that my tiny Hebe caused you all of this trouble?
Isn't that what I just said in my last message? With her little trick, she actually stole $300,000 from me. I'm thinking about going to the police station and filing a report. Is that what you want to happen? Do you want her detained?
Please wait a minute. Tom, are you really claiming that you had serious plans to marry my little Hebe before? But then she lied to you and stole $300,000 from you?
That is exactly what I am attempting to convey to you. I was so excited about our wedding until Hebe announced that she no longer wanted to marry me. And then she stole $300,000 from me and ran away.
Is that what my little angel did? I'm not sure what I'm reading right now. To think my own lovely innocent little cutie could do something like that.
I'm sure it's a lot to take in right now. I can't imagine any parent ever wanting to believe that their child committed such a heinous crime. But, ma'am, I'm afraid I have to tell you the truth right now. Your girl duped me by sending me a phony marriage proposal.
Did my darling, innocent little angel really do that? Do you have any proof that you and my Hebe ever had a relationship, Tom?
Of course, I have evidence. But, as you know, Hebe dislikes being photographed, so I don't have anything like that. I can, however, show you the messages in which we discussed our wedding arrangements.
I see. That's how it is. Could you please send me some of those screenshots if that's the case?
Unfortunately, those texts are saved on another phone that I don't have right now. As a result, I'm unable to show you them right now.
So there's no reason for me to believe you. When will you be able to provide me with proof?
Don't worry, I'll email them to you as soon as I can. By the way, I know you don't want to face the truth right now, but the fact is that your daughter is a criminal. Do you understand? And, unfortunately, I am the victim of that crime. As a result, I humbly request that you accept the situation as it is and cease doubting me.
Is that what I'm supposed to do? By the way, I'm wondering how you got my phone number in the first place.
Of course, your daughter gave it to me while we were dating.
But you say it's difficult for you to talk to Hebe right now? And why would she give you my phone number to begin with?
While we were dating, I asked her for it. Is it really important how I obtained your contact information? If you don't quit playing these little games, I'm going to call the cops.
Is that correct? So you're dead serious when you allege Hebe duped you and took your money in a wedding scam?
Yes, of course, I'm serious right now. Do you believe I could make a joke about something so serious?
I see. In that case, please allow me some time before responding. I just need some time to think things through.
How many times do I need to explain everything to you? Your daughter took my money through a little marriage fraud. Not only am I out all that money now, but I'm also left with a broken heart.
I get what you're saying.
Oh, and don't tell your husband about any of this, okay? If you do, I'll find out and report you to the police.
Huh? Wait. Why shouldn't my husband be aware of all of this? Actually, I was thinking of talking about it with him.
I just don't want this narrative to be made into something bigger than it is. Do you get what I'm saying?
I see. So, just hang on for a moment. I need to think about things before I message you again. Kane. I have some crucial news to share with you. Someone just contacted me in order to swindle me.
What? Are you sure?
I'm certain he's lying to gain money from us. After all, he insists that he was the victim of a marriage hoax performed by none other than Hebe.
What are you talking about? Hebe allegedly duped this guy? What about the wedding scam? Hebe?
Exactly. Can you believe our adorable little darling behaved like that?
Come on! Stop pulling my leg now! You know how much I despise these kinds of jokes.
But I'm going to tell you what occurred. It's not a joke. I received a message from a man named Tom earlier today.
That's intriguing because I have a teammate named Tom.
No way. So you know who I'm talking to right now?
And why on earth does that guy have your phone number? There's no reason he should have that kind of knowledge.
So don't bother asking me. He never asked for my phone number or anything like that?
No, he's never done anything like that before. It's all really bizarre. Wait a minute. I once walked into the office and unintentionally left my phone open on my desk while I went to the restroom. And I believe you texted me that you had just returned home when I was in the restroom.
Oh, I see. That has to be it. Are you pals with a Tom?
To be honest, we hardly ever talk. Really, I think he's a strange guy. And I've heard a lot of negative things about him at work.
I'm not kidding. That's insane. What kind of rumors are they?
Just that he frequents a lot of strip joints and casinos and the like. I've heard he's amassed a sizable gambling debt. And I've discovered money disappearing from my wallet on a couple occasions when we've gone out drinking.
Have you ever had money disappear from your wallet? As in, you were just having a couple too many beers with this guy when you were out?
No, that's not the case. I'm saying that I would go into a restaurant thinking I knew how much money I had in my wallet and would always leave with a lot less than I had predicted.
I completely get what you're saying, honey. If the Tom person is as horrible as you say and believe, it makes my text with him all the more strange. It's possible that I was speaking to someone with the same name. In any case, the individual I was speaking with earlier was a con artist attempting to defraud me.
Wait a second! You just given me a brilliant idea!
What is it?
Hey, I believe I've given you more than enough time to consider your options. So, are you going to give me the money I requested? If you don't want me to press charges, you'll have to pay me $100,000.
Right, let's take your money. It's only that it's not an amount I can just withdraw from the account without anyone noticing. So perhaps I can just hand it to you in person.
So, yes, I suppose doing it in person may work. So you're going to pay me the whole amount?
Of course, I haven't been able to discuss all of this with Hebe, but as you mentioned, I don't want this thing to grow any bigger than it has to. So I believe it is in everyone's best interests if I simply do as you say. In exchange, I'd like to meet you and talk with you in person if that's okay.
I see. Well, if that's how you want to approach things, I don't see why not. I'll send you a date and location as soon as possible. Are you sure you don't want to be late?
Yes, I fully understand. I only ask that we meet in a well-lit public place. I'm simply a little concerned because I'll be traveling alone to meet you and perform the handoff.
Don't worry about it. What do you think about meeting at a cafe?
Yes, I believe that will enough. I'll wait for your next communication about where and when we may meet.
Hey! What sort of stunt are you attempting to pull on me right now? Why didn't you bring your money to the cafe? That is not what we agreed to. You come back here right now and give me the money.
$100,000 isn't something you can just walk around with in public. And anyway, now that we've met, I'm not sure I want to pay you a single cent of what you're asking for.
What? What are you saying right now? How long are you going to keep playing these dumb little games? You come back here and give me that money, or your daughter will go to prison. Is that what you want to happen?
You're referring to my 3-year-old daughter? I believe you are wrong.
Wait! What are you saying? Is this another of your games?
A game? Not at all. I mean exactly what I said. My daughter is only 3 years old, so I'm not sure how she managed such an impressive marriage fraud.
Are you nuts or what? I went out with your daughter, Hebe. You'd best quit fooling me right now because I'm not going to fall for it.
That Hebe person you keep mentioning. That young lady is not my daughter. She is the household pet.
What is it? What exactly are you saying right now?
Do you believe you might have overheard my husband conversing with one of your coworkers? And you mistook Hebe for his daughter, when she's actually the Labrador retriever we keep at home. I'll grant you that she is the prettiest creature on the planet.
No. You're lying to me, aren't you? But your husband stated she was a lovely young lady. And everyone in the office agreed with him.
She is a stunning young lady. We do keep her fur well trimmed, and she has some very lovely traits for a dog, however. I think a pretty woman is always complimented, huh?
What?
Oh, don't tell me you're planning to marry our dog. And, to be honest, I've never met you while we've gone on walks together. But to think that my adorable little Hebe would marry a human. I just believe that kind of behavior wasn't allowed. And then to think that the little brat stole $300,000 of your money, I think it's a little much even for her.
No. There's been an error, and this isn't accurate. I'm telling you I dated your real daughter.
You're referring to my 3-year-old kid, right? Because Hebe is at the very least 5 years old. So she's probably the right age in dog years, but...
However, your hubby is quite elderly. Isn't your 3-year-old your youngest daughter?
No. My husband and I married despite our age differences. You've heard the expression, robbing the cradle. Although not nearly as horrible as you, if you insist on marrying our daughter. You didn't think I looked a little young when we first met?
Well, now that you bring it up. When you introduced yourself, I was taken aback by how young you were.
That's at least reassuring.
So the young lady in the photo your husband is continually staring at is.
That must be that photo of myself from years ago that he adores. Well, I say younger, but I think I'm still youthful in comparison. It's understandable that you made a mistake like that.
Wait. So why did you bother coming to meet me earlier? If you had known your daughter was never engaged to me all along, why have you traveled so far to meet me?
Oh, that? Of course, that was to gather evidence.
To gather what?
You heard me correctly. I had a little camera in one of the pockets of my bag, which I had brought to the cafe. And it was streaming whatever it saw to a computer in our house that my husband was watching. And when I stepped up to take my seat, you reached for my purse. So I activated the camera to see if you would grab anything from my luggage.
Are you serious?
Oh, I'm dead serious. And I finally have proof. We have video of you digging through my purse. And taking the money out of my wallet. Everything is on video, Tom.
You're lying. I know you are. Why would you do this to me? What did I ever do to you to deserve this?
Why did I do it? To catch a crook red-handed, of course. Also, I wanted to be sure that the criminal I was dealing with was indeed working for my husband.
Please wait a moment. Everything has been a tremendous misunderstanding. So you duped me. Even after I told you not to say anything to your husband.
Oh, and speaking of my husband, I believe he is on his way to see you right now. So, before everything blows up, you should try to explain things to your coworkers. I also wanted you to know that I've been screenshotting all of our discussions and will be turning everything over to the cops. So I believe you'll be arrested for attempted blackmail as well.
Just sit tight. Please. This is all wrong. You have completely misunderstood me. None of this is my fault. I was dating an escort who stole all of my money. And now I have nothing. I've had to take out a lot of debts.
An escort girlfriend? That sounds like there's far too much to unpack. But I don't see how any of that has anything to do with you and me. Or are you arguing that just because you were duped by someone, it's okay to dupe other people?
But this girl, she informed me that she would marry me if I could come up with $300,000 in cash. Despite the fact that she refuses to quit her work and is still sleeping with a slew of other men.
I don't care what's going on in your messed up love life. And you should avoid saying anything more that will make you appear even more pitiful than you already are.
You don't understand. After everything I've done for her, this is how she chooses to treat me. It's inexcusable.
Don't you realize that your girlfriend was only being kind to you because it was her job to be? You seem to have a horrible luck with these misconceptions, aren't you embarrassed? Anyway, good luck dealing with my husband and the rest of the office condemning you for what you've done. You may never recover from something like this, but I suppose that's what an idiot like you deserves. After that, my husband and some of his coworkers arrived at the cafe and were able to quickly give over Tom to the officers. This entire episode propagated around the office until everyone was aware of it. Of course, Tom was dismissed on the spot. Everything that happened to him was his responsibility because he made assumptions. And for the crime of attempting to defraud people of their hard-earned money, he was banished from society as his only proper punishment.
Hey! I'm going out today. You just take care of dinner by yourself tonight. So, bye.
What? Again? You've been going out a lot lately. What on earth are you doing so often?
Huh? Don't tell me you have a problem with me. You're in no position to complain to me. You're just an ATM.
Stop saying that. That's too harsh. I'm doing my best for you.
I don't care. The only way for me to relieve stress is to go out at night. I'm having fun partying, so don't disturb me.
I don't mean to disturb you. I'm just asking what you're doing.
Tired of your questions. You're just an ATM, so be an ATM, shut up.
Just told you. That's too harsh. And I have something important to tell you. I just needed a little time to talk to you. So, can you stay home tonight?
No, I can't because I'm already out. What do you want to tell me? I bet it's not even important. Isn't it something that can be talked about by text?
It's pretty important.
Just say it then.
I'm getting transferred overseas.
Huh? What are you talking about? Are you kidding?
It's not a joke. I've been told that I'm getting transferred overseas. So I'll be stationed abroad for the next 3 years.
Overseas, like Europe?
To Malaysia.
Huh? Southeast Asia? No. Not possible.
What does that mean?
If it were a nicer country, I would have gone with you too. But I can't do that in a country I'm not interested in. I've never been to Malaysia, so I can't imagine what it's like. I cannot live in such a rural area.
Kuala Lumpur is quite urban.
Where's that? I don't understand.
That's the capital of Malaysia.
Well, I don't care. I can't do it.
So you're saying you can't come with me? I can't live abroad with you, so you're just an ATM.
If you're being transferred overseas, I would marry my current boyfriend.
Huh? Did you say boyfriend?
I married you because you let me live in your fan's apartment, and I thought you were rich. If you won't support my needs, if I can't anymore, there is no way I'm going to a dirty country in Southeast Asia. Then I would stay here and marry my current boyfriend.
I knew you were cheating on me. Then, when I get transferred overseas, you mean you're gonna dump me and move on to another guy right away?
I mean, I'm not talking about switching. You're just an ATM. I only married you because of that. So, if I can't live with your money, I don't need to be married to you. I'd rather have someone else. I can't live in a rural country.
I was going to suggest you at least go there once and think about it. But if you're cheating on me, I'm done. We don't have children yet, so let's just get a divorce.
I never intended to have children with you in the first place.
What? I thought we were trying to conceive.
There is no way I would do that. You wanted to have kids, so I had to pretend that I wanted it too. I didn't really want any kids. Well, I was in birth control, so there was no possibility of getting pregnant.
I didn't realize that. You lied to me from beginning to end. You were just using me.
Well, I'll give you a divorce, but you have to pay alimony.
What? Alimony? You are unfaithful yourself, and now you want me to pay you? What's that for?
I need a lot of money for moving and other things. I have to move because you're getting transferred. I'll have to pay all the expenses related to that.
You're so greedy. Why didn't I notice this before? I've been so ridiculed, disrespected, and taken advantage of by you. I was an idiot to think it might be an expression of your affection.
You should have tried harder. We're done now. You'll probably never get married again.
That's enough. If you're just being sarcastic, let's just call it quits.
Are you seriously asking me to come with you overseas? Of course, I'm divorcing you immediately.
I see. Don't regret it later.
Go on your own.
I don't think I'll be talking to you anymore. Just because I transferred overseas, you instantly switched to another guy. I'm not going to deal with you anymore.
That's my life.
Thank you for all you have done. Don't contact me again. Goodbye.
Hey, Jace! How are you? It's been a while. I heard you had returned home. Can I come to see you?
Huh, who's this?
Oh, why are you talking to me like that? I am your wife. I haven't heard from you in a while, so I guess you forgot about me.
What are you talking about? You and I have been divorced for 3 years now. What's your intention? What is your plan in contacting me after all this time?
What do you mean? That's mean. I'm saying that I want to see you, okay? I didn't expect you to be so cold. I'm coming over there now. It's the same apartment, right?
No, please. Don't come. Or rather, I don't want you to come. I'm not gonna see you. What do you want from me? I have nothing to do with you. You and I meeting would not be productive in any way.
You're so stubborn, Jace. You want to start over with me again, don't you? Just be honest. And I think that's fine with me.
Huh?
I was naive before. Maybe my thinking was shallow too. So I apologize for treating you like an ATM. Let's live together again.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I've already remarried.
What? No. That can't be true. What are you talking about? Are you trying to get my attention because you want to get back to me?
There's no benefit to me getting your attention. You come to me asking me to get back together, but you only contacted me because you found out I was back home. All after you got dumped by your boyfriend and full of debt. There's no reason to meet with a woman like that.
What? How do you know about that? That's not true. I just, when I found out that you had returned home, I just wanted to see you.
Well, thank you very much. But no thanks. Because I have nothing but regrets from being married to you. I was young, too, so I chose my marriage partner based on looks. I thought if I gave you my all, you would love me. But as it turns out, you just ended up exploiting me.
What?
My time, my emotional stability, and my money. I've had enough of you. I wonder why I was with someone who would treat me like an ATM.
I wasn't that bad. There were times when we got along well. I would love to live with you again. I regretted not following you overseas.
I see, but it's too late now. You've probably heard I was doing very well, didn't you? That's why you contacted me like this, right?
That's not true.
You didn't see the TV show, huh? You saw how I did so well in Malaysia, and I was promoted to branch manager, and then I went back to headquarters.
I knew it. It was you on TV, wasn't it? I didn't know you were such a big deal. You were the branch manager.
I got transferred to Malaysia for a promotion. You didn't ask me anything, so I didn't tell you. I was trying to tell you, though. You didn't even listen to me. You just left me.
I didn't mean to leave you. I was out of my mind at the time.
But it doesn't matter anymore.
What? What do you mean?
Because this kind of conversation is just a waste of time for me. I met a wonderful woman and married her. From now on, she and I will stay together for the rest of our lives.
So the remarriage thing was for real.
My divorce from you made me realize what's really important. Then I realized how happy I was to be able to love someone who loves me. Maybe I should thank you for that.
Let me tell you, she's after her money, too.
Huh?
Of course, she is. There is no other reason for her to marry you. If so, I think you should start over with me.
What do you mean?
The only women who will come to you are those who are after your money. I'm the best woman for you. We used to live together. We understand each other. Above all, I am pretty. And I'm 5 years younger than you. You'll have a better life if you get back together with me.
You're delusional.
Huh? Why do you say that? Isn't it true that I am pretty? What's wrong with me wanting to be rich?
That you could say that much is quite remarkable. I would never want to start over with you.
Why not? Can't you see that I'm better? Your new wife is not as pretty as me anyway, right?
Take a look at my Instagram.
Huh?
My account has quite a few followers because it's also business related. My wife is on there too.
Huh? What is this? You're acting like you're a celebrity. Who is this blonde girl? Is she an actress?
Actually, yes.
Huh? How can you marry a blonde girl in Malaysia? That's ridiculous. That's a lie. She's just after your money.
Unfortunately, I make less money than she does. She's a real actress.
What? Are you serious?
Oh! And as a result, I'm like a celebrity on Instagram too. I feel at peace when I'm with her. She rarely wears fancy makeup like the one in the photo. But I always think she's a beautiful woman. We are having a good time, the two of us.
That is impossible. I don't want to hear your love stories. I am your wife. Shut up and get back together with me.
I'm trying to explain all this to you. You're so miserable that you still think you're my wife. Maybe you should have stayed married to me. You're now over 30 years old and without a decent job. You got dumped by your boyfriend and have very little income. You're barely getting along.
How do you know all this? Who told you that?
I don't need to ask anyone to find that out. People like you will surely never be happy.
You don't have to say that much, do you? I'm going to your apartment now. Meet me and then decide.
I don't need to see you. I bought a new place and moved out. I don't live there anymore. Sorry, but your life and mine will never overlap again.
I'm sorry. I apologize for what I did 3 years ago. Please forgive me.
I'm not mad at you. But I'm not interested in you either. You have a life of your own. You should work on fixing your personality first. Goodbye, forever.
After that, Rosa continued to try and get back with Jace. But he laughed at her and did not take her seriously. She tried to visit the apartment she and Jace used to live. But of course, he didn't live there. Then she got kicked out by the doorman of the apartment. Eventually, she made so much trouble for them that security was called. In the end, she had to suffer a great deal of embarrassment there as well. After that, Rosa never saw Jace again. Eventually, she returned to her hometown and began helping her parents farm. Every time she sees Jace's Instagram and how he's successful, she regrets everything.